everybody, I'm Stacy Lynn. Welcome to my home. This is the fourth video in my series of why I haven't had to redecorate in 20 years and how my house works. So come on in, welcome, and I want you to just enjoy your journey here. We're going into the dining room today. We've done the foyer, the living room, the den, and now it is the dining room. I think the main reason that my home works is because I based it off of a historic house from 1807. So it's kind of easier when you do that, just because your colors, you only got a certain amount of colors to choose from. And the decor, when we built the house, the molding, all of it, was done after that time period. That makes it super easy. So anyway, come on in and let me show you why I feel like this works. So we did modernize things, obviously, by having an open kitchen. This would have originally had a wall right here, and there was a back porch back there. And you can see from the foyer, and if you go back and you watch my videos from before, the foyer video, if you were to go right outside that foyer, you would take a right. Now it's my den, but you would take a right, go up the stairs, and so it was the back porch. And this would just be one room right here. So it's one room here, and then one room over there, and then the door, the foyer. And that's how they originally had it. The original owners built on, and they built two wings, and they created a courtyard in their back. And we have the two wings, and we've built, we've done the same thing, but we did just make more space here in the back. So originally, when we were thinking about it, the dining room, we thought that the dining room would go in my den area. And so my thought was, when you first came in the front door, you would see in the den out a long table with a beautiful flower arrangement on it. But then this would be our den. But I'm very glad that we did it the opposite way, because it's a bigger room in there. So I believe one of the major reasons that this works is because this room is because of the chandelier. We got the chandelier before we ever got this house, before we ever built. And we were saving all of our stuff, in our garage and in a spare room we had, so that we would have things when we moved into this house. So we had to wait for a while to buy the property, and and then to decide how we were going to build it and everything. We did have the room specs, the size that we needed, because we had already gotten this table. So there's no rooms that you can probably go in now and at dining rooms and find an ability to put a 14-foot long table in there. So that was part of our specificity. But anyway, and we got the bench too, and believe it or not, we got this bench from a whole separate space, or a place. This came from an antique place we like to go to in Atlanta. And this bench came from a place that was like it was like where they were selling from China, like Chinese decor and everything. And it was outside, because they had no place to put it inside. So it was in the weather. And so they sold it to us for really inexpensive. Nobody could, buy a 14-foot table. So we got it for pretty inexpensive. And then we got these chairs also there. One thing that I would say is I would not buy antique chairs, although I did just recently, but I would try not to buy antique chairs. If you can find reproductions, I think you're better off, because the antique chairs are constantly having to be repaired. Not all of them. Like I got these just recently here, and they are awesome. I mean, there's nothing at all, that I find that I don't like about those. Also, if you're going antique shopping, remember to measure walls. So I wanted to get a buffet. Scott and I got this like one of the very first years we were married, and it looks okay right here, but it needs, I feel like for this space, it needs to be a little bit bigger. And so we saw a beautiful buffet we wanted just recently, but it didn't fit. We had measured the wall, and we knew that it was going to go all the way to the end. So it would be sticking out right here, and it would look weird. So we weren't able to get it. I was so sad. I was like, somebody needs to get this in my family, because it's so beautiful, but I had no place to put it. So I think that the chandelier, getting things ahead of time, thinking about your space. And if you don't have the ability or don't want to move or whatever, think about your space and what would look good in your space. And lighting, I would say start with the lighting and the floors. So the floors make a lot of difference. It can elevate a place, and they can take away from a place. You know, great carpet is great. I don't know about for a dining room, although I've seen it done, and it can be done very tastefully. Or whether it's wood floors or whether it's Mexican tile or whether it's just tile in general, you can make a space completely different with the floors. So I feel like that it's not so much what you have in the space as it is the space itself. So anyway, that would be one thing. The height of the ceilings for me, for this house, is another thing. But in another type house, lower ceilings would be just fine. In fact, we're renovating a house that has pretty low ceilings, and it was built in 1836. And I have great ideas for it. I'm so excited about it. And the lower ceilings really it makes it cozy, gives me a new inspiration, completely thinking different about things. Another thing I really love about this room is that it's open to the kitchen. Sometimes I don't like that because I can see the kitchen and I want to just relax and not look at the mess. You know, if you cooked dinner or whatever. But if you wanted to do it, you could, and I've thought about this before, you could put curtains, or I would love to put pocket doors, but I don't think that won't work here. But to put pocket doors right here, which would be great, but see, there's no space for them to go into over there. But you could put a really pretty rod up here and have curtains open up, and you could close it, and it would look pretty cool, but I'm probably not gonna do that. But I have thought about it. So that would be another thing. And then if you have any old pictures of your family and you're like, you know, that'd be really weird, but we've got pictures from people that lived in the original house. That is insane. Back from 1807. And they used to put their hair over a long, you know, I don't know if these were journals that we read or how we know this, but they have really, really, really long hair. So they would let it dry, you know, out like over like lots of chairs or something, like in the foyer, which is kind of cool to think about. So, and we have other things. You can decorate with plates. I love plates. Having lamps in your dining room is a fun thing because it changes, again, the lighting and the mood. And those are some of the things, and I say put things that are special to you, things that you and your husband find together, things that you've made for one another or that your children have made, and, you know, frame pictures, have like a collage of pictures that they've done, or, you know, Scott got this buffet over here, which I adore, from a friend of ours. I went into her office and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this buffet. Would you ever consider selling it? And she said, oh, I don't know. So I told my husband about it. And so he went to her and she said, yeah, I'll sell it. So she sold it and I love it. It's got that old glass in it. It's just beautiful. But mirrors, I think mirrors make a big difference. I think that makes a huge difference in here. So the mirror, the chandelier, and probably the flooring is what I think. You know, I don't know. I would have to say 4 things because I think having a fireplace in your dining room is a pretty cool thing. And that whole area right there probably, you know, says it all as far as my dining room. But that is why I believe that this has, I haven't wanted to change anything. I like the color. It's historic. Actually, the chandelier came out of a hotel. Both the one in my den and in here came out of a hotel in New York that they were tearing down. And so somebody just got everything, you know, out of it and sold it. And so I wish I had gotten to see all of the other stuff that they had. That would have been really neat. But anyway, that's what it is. I work a lot in here. Every place in my house I use for different occasions. Are different things, different events. Like we have music in one room, games in one room. We live in my den, and you can go back and watch that video. If you do, please like it if you like it, and please subscribe to my channel. And over here, I do my podcasts. Whenever I have podcasts or have my meetings with people, I do Zoom meetings over there. And, and then I've got all of my equipment and stuff behind this door. So if we were having a really big event, I would move all of that. But for this purpose of me showing you the house, I want you to see how we use the house. I had people here doing schoolwork this morning. I have one homeschool student, but the other ones are all in college and doing things. They're taking some summer classes. So we had that. So there's a lot of activity going on. I have one of the girls' boyfriends over here taking apart, I think it was a microwave. He was going to do something with it. I don't know. Anyway, so he's going into mechanical engineering, so I guess he was practicing. I don't know. But he was doing something. And so we had a lot of that going on here. So this is a very special room. All of our meals, so many conversations. And so make your dining room work for you and your family. And please subscribe or follow this channel. And please like this post and tell your friends about it. And I hope to see you back here next week. I'll be showing my kitchen. Talk to you soon.